Hey guys, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. This is Brian with Turf Mechanic. If you've never watched any of my videos before, I'm sitting here on my new front lawn. I've never tended this lawn before. It's brand new to me. We're in the middle of, well, we're not in the middle of winter. We're the very end of fall. This is the time of year that most lawns have shut down. Nothing's really growing. Where I live now is a 12-month growing season, but there's some dormancy that happens for some of the truly warm season stuff like Bermuda, St. Augustine, things like that. What you see in the lawn behind me here is a mixture of some common warm season grasses, like not the boutique varieties, and some cool season grasses that are still green. There's definitely some weeds mixed in here too, but I want to come to you with two main things today. I know it's basically lawn season, off season, so if you're watching this, I appreciate it. I'm not sure how much longevity this video is going to have, but the first thing that I want to discuss is I want to answer the most common question that I've gotten over the past month. I've gotten this in a variety of comments for weeks now. What grass type are you going to grow now that you've moved from Oregon down to Southern California? That's a complicated question to answer. Surprisingly complicated because I've got a lot of different things going on here, but I do want to answer it in the most complete possible way for you today. And then I'm going to end this video today with kind of a message to subscribers, something that may or may not be applicable to people in the long term. I encourage you to stick around for that because I think it's fairly important for you to understand my thought process regarding the Turf Mechanic channel and brand for the future. Basically, I'm making some big decisions here. All right, flipping the camera around here. I'm gonna kind of walk and talk here, so you won't see my face for a while. Let's start with the plan for my grass types. So over here on the other side of the car, this is what I'm starting to call the side yard. I'm not sure if I'll continue to call it the side yard, but I've been starting to hack away at this aloe vera plant because it's overgrown. I mean, look at these things. Look at this. It's an aloe plant. That's nuts. We're going to be propagating some of that, and there might be a video or two coming out on the Turf Mechanic Gardens channel about that. But this is what I want to show you. This side yard here, I am going to do a 100% kikuyu lawn. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of kikuyu mixed in with my neighbor's lawn, and she actually takes very good care of her lawn. If I were to walk around the neighborhood, this would be one of the nicer lawns in the neighborhood. There's a lot of kikuyu over there, and because it's so invasive and because it spreads so much, I don't want to put anything here that's going to compete back and forth. I want to put the same stuff so that if her lawn moves this way, it's not going to be messing up some other sort of monostand and vice versa. The end result here is we're going to actually see a side-by-side of regularly managed kikuyu lawn in the Southern California area that's managed fairly well, and then mine. Now, I'm not one to brag, but most likely this is going to end up looking a lot better. For one, I'm an idiot and I take enormously good care of my lawn. But two, I'm going to be putting in a specialty variety. I don't know if specialty is the right word, but I'm going to be putting in Whitted kikuyu, which is basically an improved variety of kikuyu grass. Now, 2 weeks ago, we're like literally talking, I guess it's 15 days ago, I applied glyphosate to all of this, trying to kill it all off. And within 15 days, we've got a lot of brown here. I'm down to stems, so I cut it really short. But you see, there's still some green popping up. There's still green everywhere. Little bits of green throughout. So my first round of glyphosate only was not designed to kill everything, but it was designed to kill a lot of stuff. And then this coming week, I'm going to be doing my second round of glyphosate applications. I'm going to be mixing into the tank some extra herbicides that should help to kill off the kikuyu, or the common kikuyu that's here, and then some of the Bermuda. See, there's still some green in here too. There's some common Bermuda mixed in here too. So it's going to take a good number of rounds to kill this off, but I'm planning on doing 3 rounds of mixed herbicides to kill as much as I possibly can before I start seeding the really fancy kikuyu grass in this area. And of course, it's going to go up here in this little corner too. I fully expect some Bermuda grass to come back next year. And if it's small, isolated spots, I'm literally just going to hand dig those spots out. The kikuyu is so aggressive that it will refill in the spots just fine on its own. So I'm just going to be using the shovel method probably by summer of 2023. During the fully dead dormant phase here, I'm going to be trenching out the irrigation lines and altering the irrigation zones so that this one zone, or so that this one area is a single irrigation zone, because the kikuyu grass is going to require a different irrigation pattern from the rest of the front yard. So let's move over there. All right, so the front strip right here, so far I've just been like cutting this a little bit lower throughout the past 5 weeks or so. Because it was really overgrown. There's tons of weeds mixed in here. There's some Bermuda, there's some kikuyu, there might be some other things in here too. This entire strip is an irrigation zone on my plan on my system right now. And I am going to manage this as a no-mow lawn because it goes so long. I'm going to turn this entire thing into buffalo grass. So similar to the way that I'm killing off the strip over there, I'm going to kill everything off over here and install buffalo grass. Now, buffalo grass, being a warm season grass type, is going to be, I don't know, very difficult to install during the cooler months. And it's a slow to install thing. So I'm actually starting to make my own plugs of buffalo grass. I'm pretty sure I could just go out and buy plugs of buffalo grass, but I got a ton of seed. So I'm just going to make the plugs myself. So that's what's going on here. I'm going to be putting some other pots together and eventually making plugs, because you can establish a buffalo grass lawn with 1 single seed per square foot. So it's going to take some time to do that, but that's what I'm going to do. 1 seed per square foot, maybe 2, depending on how fast I want it to establish, but that's what this whole thing is. And I'm going to allow the buffalo grass to become bushy. And buffalo grass is one of the shorter varieties. Like if you leave it unmowed, it's not really going to get too much more, over 6 inches or so. So it's going to still resemble a lawn ground cover that's unmowed, but you just never have to mow it. I'll probably end up mowing it once or twice a year, or at least keeping it a little bit tidy with a weed eater, because I'm going to plant, my wife and I are going to choose some plants to be able to put into it, kind of perennial plants, things that are just ornamental and beautiful. We might even take some of that aloe vera that we're propagating and stick it into it, because everything here is not hardly ever going to get irrigated. Even though we're on an irrigation zone, we're not going to irrigate it. So we want to plant things that require very little water, maybe some succulents. There's a lot of succulent, low water usage plants grown. Like if you just walk through the neighborhood, you see tons of things, even like cacti. This zone, I'm going to combine it with this strip here along the side. So this will be one zone. I'll put it on irrigation once every few weeks or so during the dry season to keep everything alive. But mostly this isn't going to need hardly any water at all. Now here in the main lawn, because we've got a lot of shade, see, you can't even see because of the shade. So I got to walk into this shade so you can see it. We've got a lot of different grass types. Some of them are dormant because of shade and cool, because of course it's cooler in the shade than it is out of the shade. Like look at that right there. I'm pretty sure that's a Bermuda grass stolen. That's just kind of, it's like I haven't gotten any sun and it's cold over here. He wants a jacket. You just can't kill stuff off when it's dormant. So like maybe I could do it over there, but what's the point? So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to manage this lawn as if, I don't know, as if I was a normal person. During the winter here, we're just not going to get cold enough for, like, I'm still going to be mowing it through December and January and February. So I'm going to go ahead and manage this like a regular lawn. I want it to look as very, very best by somewhere around like May without really attempting to kill anything off. And by the time May rolls around, we should have plenty of sun coming down even here, and everything should be green and growing, even the Bermuda, even the kikuyu in here, plus all of the cool season grasses will be doing very, very well in here. So at that point, then I'm going to start doing a major lawn renovation here, and the plan is to have full buffalo grass right here in the main lawn and treat it like a real buffalo grass lawn. I'm going to have to use most likely a pretty fancy mixture of herbicides to get that done. Personally, I don't like using herbicides, but I have learned to be okay with it. At least for this first season, I'm just literally going to have to use a lot of chemicals to get the lawn that I want. And of course, I want a lawn that's low maintenance in the long term, a lawn that doesn't require very much water in the long term. So I don't know, it's just like ripping the Band-Aid off. I don't want to do it, but that's just what I'm going to have to do. This area here, since I'm going to manage it more than the strip, even though it's going to be the same grass type, is going to be on its own irrigation zone as well. Probably have to water it a little bit more often, but not too much more. But I'll have to water it more often because I'm going to be fertilizing it and mowing it. So it's going to need a little bit more water. My guess is I'll be watering this once a week, maybe once every, I don't know, maybe once every 10 days. We'll see how it goes. In the short term, we're going to end up seeing lots of, you know, just regular person lawn problems, you know, competing grass types. Some of them are dormant, some of them are not. There's going to be clumps of green here, clumps of like different color green there. So I'm just going to have to see how nice I can make it look while I wait for the right conditions to do the full renovation here. All right, let's head over to the backyard because I got pretty good plans over there too. All right, here's my backyard right now. It generally looks terrible. There's even dog poo back here that I haven't picked up yet. It's been Thanksgiving, for goodness sakes. I had 27 people at the house a couple days ago. I am trenching out old irrigation lines. I've cleaned up some of this plant over here. Here's my cat. You guys know him. He's always been in my videos. We've been trimming this plant back, exposing the irrigation lines. I'm going to be doing major, I don't know how major, but I'm going to be doing some significant upgrades to the irrigation lines back here. Right now, we've got one irrigation zone that follows the exterior fence line, and that's it. And then another irrigation line that follows the patio line, and that's it. So I'm going to see if I can combine those into one zone. I might not be able to. I might have to keep it into two zones because of, I don't know, the amount of water that I can get out at once. Water pressure and water flow, all of the various sprinkler head distribution rates and all that. I'm actually going to make a dedicated video for that. But if you look around back here, we still have the same issues that we have in the front. We've got a lot of common Bermuda and a lot of common kikuyu mixed in with some cool season lawn stuff. So it's actually probably significantly more kikuyu and Bermuda than anything else back here. But you can see, like, you've got vibrant green stuff sitting next to dingy green stuff. This dingy green stuff, a lot of it is Bermuda. Some of the vibrant green stuff is cool season grasses, some kikuyu grasses. This, I don't believe, is either one of those. I'd have to look closely to see what it is. It might actually be some fescue. So there's might be some fescue back here. The plan back here, I will be growing turf type tall fescue. I'm going to largely operate this lawn as if it is a monostand of turf type tall fescue. There is a variety that I can pick up called Marathon turf type tall fescue, which is a low water usage. Really, at this point, I don't care so much about color. You know, a lot of people love color, it's got to be the darkest green lawn possible, and it's got a stripe amazing. I don't care. I just need a grass type that I can manage really well. It's going to be good for the dogs, good for the kids, and it can't use very much water because we have water restrictions around here, mega drought in the Southern California area. That's super duper important. And because we've got shade back here from these trees, from the fences, from the palms, it's got to be shade tolerant, and a lot of the warm season grasses just aren't shade tolerant. So even during the summer, we're going to have some shady parts of the day back here. During the winter, the turf type tall fescue can remain green and growing the whole time. So it just makes more sense for me to put the cool season grass back here. Also, there are herbicides out there that I can use to control Bermuda grass and kikuyu grass in a cool season lawn made up of turf type tall fescue, or really any other cool season lawn. I don't know what you guys went and bought for Black Friday, if anything, but I went and bought before Black Friday a couple fancy products that I'm going to be using. I got myself this. What was your Black Friday purchase? I paid full price, and I'm happy to have done it. Fusilade is a Flazofop herbicide. This was actually recommended to me in the comments of one of my videos not that long ago as a way to help kill off the area there near the front of the house, in between my neighbor's yard and my yard. I'm trying to kill off that kikuyu grass. This is going to help kill off the kikuyu grass when mixed together with the glyphosate. Not only that, but here I got this turf lawn ester. You can also get like high yield triclopyr is basically the same thing. You're looking at a 60% triclopyr formulation. This is also going to help suppress kikuyu grass. So I'm probably not going to use it up near the front yard while I'm killing everything off, but I will be using this back here in the backyard when I start overseeding with turf type tall fescue and slowly trying to kill off and control the kikuyu. This product I also paid full price for. Totally happy about it. Just because it's Black Friday doesn't mean you have to buy the things that are super duper on sale. I just want to get the stuff that I need. I'll be using this. This is another purchase of mine that I made just before Black Friday. And I got dirt on it right now. I started fiddling around with it in the yard. This is basically my replacement to Sunjoe's electric dethatcher. This is the Von House. I bought this also full price. I don't need to get something just because it's cheap. I need to get something that works. There's my neighbor dog. This has the Scarifier blade that the Sunjoe has on it, and it just digs really deep into the ground. So it's almost like a mini tiller. Like if I set this thing all the way down low, holy moly, man, it shreds the lawn. I didn't take video of it. I kind of wish I did, but I ran it over here on the lowest setting. This is not with a mower. This is what the grass looked like before I ran it. This is what it looked like after. I mean, it just shredded the stolons. Full price, baby. And that thing was one of the most expensive electric consumer grade dethatcher scarifiers that I found on Amazon, I think. I mean, I bought it on Amazon. You could probably buy it elsewhere. But it was, I don't know, about $230 or so. So it's more expensive than the others, but I think it's going to be worth it in the long run. So in the future, those of you who care, I'm sure there's probably a good number of you, you're going to have a lot of turf type tall fescue content on this channel. So I'm going to be running some buffalo out front, kikuyu out front, turf type tall fescue right here in the garden. So actually on the edge here, I'm going to like hand dig. I don't want to do any of the herbicides right next to the garden line. So it's somewhere in here I'm just going to start hand digging and tilling and doing some cardboard mulching and doing everything possible to manage everything here and in the garden area, because we're going to be starting to plant there soon. I don't want to put the herbicides over there. I'm having a hard enough time telling myself it's okay to use the herbicides on the main lawn because that's not the way that I naturally want to go, but I'm not going to do it for the garden. So that'll be a harder process. Between garden beds over there in the garden, I'm literally considering putting some perennial rye down. I don't like having mulch on the ground. My kids are always walking around barefoot, and despite the fact that I'm always telling them to put their shoes on, the grass is just nicer than straw or a lot of the mulches that get put down. Plus, any mulches or dirt, anything between garden beds, get tracked into the house so easily. So we're always like cleaning up. If I have some actual grass in between garden beds, grass that does not spread like a perennial rye, we'll have cleaner shoes when we go into the house. And also, if you've ever run a garden before, there's overspray. You're always getting areas around the garden bed wet. So if I've got grass there and we're accidentally getting things wet all in the area because of the nature of gardening, then at least there's some grass there that's going to soak up that water and use it. Probably won't fertilize it or heavily manage it, but I do want something growing in between garden beds. I want to finish off with kind of a message to subscribers. As this channel has grown over the past 2.5 seasons, almost 3 full seasons, I have gotten to the point where I feel like I've got a pretty influential voice here, and a voice that people trust. And I don't ever want to lose that. And I want to say thank you. I mean, it's Thanksgiving right now. I want to say thank you to all of you guys who have subscribed and watched so many my videos, so much of the content. In the comments of videos, now sometimes I'll post a video and I can barely get around to doing comments because of, I'm a family guy, so we've got things going on. I don't always have the time to sit down. But when I do, I try to give as much as I possibly can into all of the comments, especially the questions. So when people are asking questions to me, I don't give like one-liner answers. I really try to go deep, and I feel like people notice that, and I feel like that's the right thing to do, but it's hard to do a ton of it. The bigger I get here on this channel, the more comments, the more questions I'm getting. So I'm always going to continue to be responding to comments as I can in thorough ways. Don't get me wrong, that will always happen, but I don't see the ability for me to do that constantly in the future. As view counts get higher, as more subscribers and more emails come in, I just don't have the ability to address everything. I'm going to start picking and choosing because it's my life. Because it's my life. I can't just sit there in front of the computer and ignore the family all day long, just answering the same questions over and over about grass. But if you do leave questions and comments, I'm going to get to many of them. For those of you who want 100% an answer, I am starting to build out let's call it a book a call service that I'm going to be offering to. It's just a paid premium thing. So over on the Turp Mechanic website, which is going to be linked to in basically every video description on this channel, there will be a link over to the website. So I'm going to basically charge for my time. You can throw a comment and a question, maybe I'll get to it. But if you book a call and you pay for my time, then you actually get my time. And it'll be a one-on-one service. I'm not sure if it's just going to be a phone call or a Zoom call, but I'm building that out. And honestly, if you just want to, if someone who doesn't really have any serious questions, but you just want to hop on the phone and chat, I suppose I'll be up for that too. I mean, if you're going to pay, then I'll give you my time, man, and I'll talk grass forever. So that's kind of my plan for the future. Expect me to answer comments just the way that I always have before, but as there's just more and more comments and questions, I'm just going to have to be, more picky about what I spend my time answering in the public light, so in that public comment section. Thanks for watching. If you got more questions or comments about my plan, go ahead, drop them in the comments below. It's the off season. There's not a lot of viewers right now, and hopefully by spring I'm going to have a pretty nice looking property here, because I'm going to be doing work all winter long. I'll see you guys around.